beautiful, gorgeous, good-looking, good-abled people. Welcome back to the channel. Hope that you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's go ahead and move on to the next two tracks here in the White Album. We're going to move on to Obla Di, Obla Da, and then we're going to listen to Wild Honey Pie as it's only 52 seconds long, so might as well toss it in, in here with this particular track. Wild Honey Pie has a pretty straightforward name, but the Oblida, Aladu, Aliup, I don't know. So let's go ahead and listen to it. We'll talk about it after. Will I stop each track and talk about it after? I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Let's go though. Nice bounce on that bass line though. Okay, so I'm imagining that these are basically nonsense lyrics with the title of the track, but how the Beatles make it so catchy, I'm imagining. It could be something, I don't know, we'll look into it. But as of right now, in my ignorance, it sounds like, I mean, just kind of nonsense lyrics, but it sounds pleasing to the ear, right? It's like cellar door. It sounds pleasing. Like, this just sounds pleasing to sing, and the way that the Beatles are singing it, incredibly catchy, so bouncy, so sunny and warm. How can you not have a positive feeling listening to that? I'm singing it way off, but like with the cheery piano that sounds very, very saloony. There's another word I'm thinking, like a bar piano. And then it's the little moments that the Beatles have in their music that kind of take it over the edge. The little horn section, the little moment near the end of the track where the piano, instead of just doing the bars, the blues, the bar chords or whatever, it picks up on the sides. And then the moments that the band shouts together the lyrics instead of just the oh bloody, oh, now it's oh bloody, oh bloody. Like it's those little moments that make the song so memorable, so catchy, so fulfilling to listen to. And then you have the little bits of percussion just popping along in the back. Like I mentioned during the track, it has a little bit of a Jamaican feel, but I wouldn't quite call it reggae. Like, you know, the Police have a strong Jamaican reggae feel. This has a little bit of that, but not like, you know, not like that. So let me dive into these lyrics here, see if we can catch something. Desmond had a barrow in the marketplace. Molly is the singer in a band. Desmond says to Molly, "Girl, I like your face." And Molly says this as she takes him by the hand. Obla di, obla da. Life goes on. La la, how their life goes. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see if that's an actual word, if this was made up. Let me see if I can find that. It says that McCartney began writing this track during the Beatles' stay in Rishikesh in early 1968. The tagline, Obla di obla da, life goes on brah, was an expression used by Nigerian conga player Jimmy Scott Emuk, I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm sorry, Emukpor, an acquaintance of McCartney. I like that. Just one of those kind of like little taglines, little catchphrases. You know, a lot of people have a little bit of a tagline that's just like, take it easy, relax, chill, you know? According to Scott's widow, as part of his stage act with his band, Obla Di Obla Da, Scott would call out Obla Di, to which the audience would respond, Obla Da. And he would then conclude, life goes on. It's these little moments, these little facts that make the songs, you know? So the inspiration for where he got it from the man's band, what was his name? Jimmy. From Jimmy's band, which was the name. And then how Scott would call out to the audience would know what to say back, and then he says, life goes on. Like that feels good. That's so cool. After the release of the track, Scott tried to claim a writer's credit for the use of his catchphrase. McCartney said the phrase was just an expression, whereas Scott argued that it was not a common expression and was used exclusively for their family. So there was some problems. There were some legal issues here at this point. McCartney was angry that the British press sided with Scott on the issue. Later, in 1969, while in Brixton Prison awaiting trial for failing to pay maintenance to his ex-wife, Scott sent a request to the Beatles asking them to pay his legal bills. McCartney agreed to pay the amount on the condition that Scott abandon his attempt to receive a co-writer's credit. So he said, I'll get you out. I'll pay it. But you got to give this whole thing up. You got to let it go. So let's continue in the lyrics before we dive deeper into the facts and stuff. Desmond takes a trolley to the jeweler's store buys a 20-carat golden ring, takes it back to Molly waiting at the door. He gives it to her. She begins to sing. That was quick. They get right into it. Life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a sweet home, a couple of kids running in the yard of Desmond and Molly Jones. Happy ever after in the marketplace, Desmond lets the kids lend a hand. Molly stays at home and does her pretty face, and in the evening, she still sings it with the band. They're having a good life. This is a love story from beginning, not to end, but to endless, really. Just life goes on, and what a beautiful life that was going on there. It says that, let's see, McCartney performed a demo solo with only acoustic guitar, double-tracked his vocals. The first completed version of the track, recorded between 3rd and 5th of July, featured Scott himself playing on congas and a trio of saxophonists. And of course, it eventually became as we hear it today. The lyrics of Harrison's White Album track Savoy Truffle include the lines, "We all know Obla," I can't say it, "Obla da," but can you show me where you are? Like Lennon, Harrison had been vocal in his dislike of Obla di Obla da. I didn't know he didn't like it. Interesting. However, I do see that it topped the single charts in West Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. So it seems like it was a pretty big hit. Anyways, cool song, very catchy. I forgot to listen to the next track. I'm not done yet. Hold on. I was totally ready to just like end the video. Hold on. We're moving on to the next track here. What was it? Honey Sweet Pie, I think it was called. Let me find it again really quick. It was Wild Honey Pie. That's what it was. So let me pull up the lyrics for that particular track. Let me get that here. And let's go ahead and listen to Wild Honey Pie. Let's go. That's Warped. I don't know what to think of this. What am I supposed to say to that? I kind of like the strings and this kind of bent out of shape string sound that it had. That kind of wow, wow, wow. Like the strings sounded warped or like it was going out of tune or something. I thought that was kind of interesting. There's an idea in there. I didn't care for the vocal in there. It didn't really sound good to me. Honey pie. It didn't really. That's a Wild Honey Pie. I don't know what to say to that. What am I supposed to say to that track? And yet at the same time, there's a whole article written about. It was written by McCartney and credited to Lennon-McCartney. It was performed by McCartney without the participation of the other Beatles. The track is often viewed as filler and generally regarded as inconsequential and unmemorable due to its experimental nature. I wouldn't say that it's inconsequential due to its experimental nature. It just doesn't sound that interesting or good. McCartney said of the song, "We were in an experimental mode, and so I said, can I just make something up? I started off with the guitar and did multi-tracking experiments in the control room. It was very homemade. It wasn't a big production at all. I just made up this short piece, added a harmony, built it up sculpturally with a lot of vibrato on the guitar strings, really pulling the strings madly, which you really hear. Hence Wild Honey Pie, which was a reference to the other song I had written called Honey Pie." It's different. I do think this sentence is really interesting. In 2003, Stylus magazine ranked Wild Honey Pie at #1 on its list of the top 10 filler tracks, and described the song as the greatest piece of filler to ever clutter an overambitious double album. Yeah, you're not wrong. Let me know your thoughts. Comments down below. You can follow me on Twitter. You can support the channel on Patreon. Thank you as always for being here. I appreciate your presence. And I'll see you all later. Bye.